Hi, it is the Global Online Math Tutor. Today I'm going to talk about how to calculate the slope from a slope of when you have 2 points. Okay. Um, so before I do an example of that, I just want to remind you what slope is. Now, before I talk about slope, I just want you just to define what straight lines are. Okay. So if you look at this slide here, slides, you could see these. You could see that this green line here, these red line here, these blue lines. They're example of straight lines. You just draw. That's all they are. That's all they are. They're straight lines. Okay. Now the question is, what does slope mean? Slope measures how steep a line is, how quickly the line increases, or how quickly the line decreases. That is what slope means. Okay. Now, how do you calculate the the slope? And this is the idea. So that's the idea I'm going to talk about, is how do you calculate, what does slope mean? What is the formula to calculate the slope? So here I'm going to define that for you. So here, if you have 2 points, if you have a 2 points, suppose you have 2 points. Suppose a line connects 2 points. Suppose you have a line, have a straight line that connects 2 points. 2 points. Okay, let me just write it down. Let's call it, let's give it the first point, let's call it x1, x1 and y1, and the second point, let's call it x2, y2. Okay. The slope, which we denote by the symbol m, so this right here is called the slope. The m stands for slope here. The slope is defined as the difference in the y divided by the difference in x. So what does that mean? You take the second y and you subtract it by the first y, and divide it by, you take the second x and you subtract it by the first x. So it's the change in y divided by the change in x. That's what the slope is. It measures how steep the line is, how quickly it increases, or how quickly it decreases. Okay. Now we understand the form. This is how the formula. This is the formula to calculate it. Let's give an example of how to do it. So let's look at this problem. What we want to do is we want to find the slope of the line that goes through the ordered pairs 0, -3 and 2, 0. Now, the first thing you want to do when you have a problem like this is identify what is my first point and what is my second point. Remember, the first point is x1, y1, and my second point is x2, y2. Okay? Let me make it easy, obvious. So this is my first point, x1, y1, and this is my second point, x2, y2. So what we have to do is label, we have to decide which one is going to be our first point and which one is going to be our second point. Okay? In here, it doesn't matter which one you call it. You can call it. So let's, for our purposes, let's call this, let's just suppose, we'll try to show you both ways. Okay? The first way is, let's say I call this point right here. Suppose I call this the first point and I get to call this the second point. Okay? And let's calculate the slope. Okay, so that's the idea. So let's say this is first, will be the first point. I'm going to call it first point. Let's say I'll also show you the first way. Okay, and either way works. So let's say the first point is 0, -3, and my second point is 2, 0. So that means I'm going to call this first point, I'm going to call the first point x1, and I'm going to call this value right here y1. Let's look at the second point. I'm going to call this x2, and I'm going to call this y2. Okay, and let's calculate the slope. So the slope here is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So what is y2 here? Y2 is 0. So y2 is 0 minus, and y1 is negative 3. So you're going to get negative 3 and then divided by. So x2 is 2 and my x1 is 0. Okay? So it's going to go, you're going to get negative and a negative becomes positive. So you're going to get 3 over 2. Okay? Now you could obviously write in your calculator, you could leave it in fraction form, or you could put in your calculator and it gives you 1.5. Doesn't matter. I would prefer, obviously it's better to always keep fractions. In this case, it's beautiful because if you go 3 over 2, it's 1.5. That's it. But sometimes with fractions, when if you put in your calculator, you did, say example, you did 1 over 3, and if you got a slope of 1 over 3, it's going to be 0.33333333333 forever. So it makes sense just to keep it in fraction form. But in this example, you can leave it in fraction form, or you can leave your answer in fraction form, or you can leave it in decimal, either case. But for example, if you slope of say 1 over 3, and you plug in, you put that in your calculator, do 1 divided by 3, you're going to get a bunch of decimals. I would recommend you just leave it in fraction. So I hope, okay. So I hope that makes sense. Now I said you may. So I said what? Let's say the first. So in this example, the first point is 0 comma negative 3, and the second point is 2 comma 0. But you may ask, what if I make the second? What if I make 2 comma 0 the first point, and what if I make the 0 comma negative 3 the second point? So will I get the same answer? And the answer is yes. So it doesn't matter which point you call, which one is the first point and which one is the second point. Okay, it doesn't matter. So I'll show you how to do that in this example. Let me just show you here. Let's scroll down. Okay, let's do the second point. So this I call it the second way. So number 2, the second way. It doesn't matter which way you do. You can do the first way or the second way. So if I say the first point is the first point, sorry. So the first point is let's say is 2 comma 0, and the second point is okay. So so here I'm going to call the first point, the 2 comma 0 is my first point, and the second point is 0 comma negative 3. Okay, so the first point again, I'm going to call this x2, I'm going to call this one x1, so 2 will be x1, 0 is going to be y1, and then the second point x0 is going to be my x2, and my negative 3 is going to be my y2. So what is the slope here? My slope here is y2 minus y1, sorry, over x2 minus x1. So what's y2? Sorry, I had to scroll let me scroll right here. Now you can see. So now what's y2? So y2 is going to be negative 3 minus y1 is going to be 0. X2 is going to be 0. And then x1 is going to be negative 2. So you get negative 3 minus 0 is negative 3. 0 minus 2, negative 2 is negative 2. The negatives cancel each other out, and you're going to get 3 over 2. So again, it doesn't matter which point is the first point and which one is the second point, but both lead to the same answer. So I hope you like this video. Please give me a thumbs up. Please give me hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button so you can see more of my videos, and please hit the notification bell so that you're notified of my videos. Uh, and also, if you need a one-on-one, if you want to, if you need one-on-one tutoring with me online, please email me. My email is in the description below. Bye for now, everyone.